Colleagues, today marks the beginning of Endometriosis Awareness Month, a month-long campaign where we draw attention and highlight the challenges faced by 1 in 10 Irish women and 1 in 10 women globally of this chronic disease. So what is endometriosis? It's a condition where the tissue similar to the lining of the womb can grow around the womb and around the vital organs in that area, causing many difficulties for women. As I said, it affects 1 in 10 women and there is no cure. The symptoms include chronic pain, chronic fatigue, pain during sex, impact on mental health, many reporting suicidal tendencies, impact on fertility, severe impact on quality of life, heavy bleeding, IBS, to name but a few. It is a severely debilitating disease, and to reiterate again, 1 in 10 Irish women have this disease. The problem, colleagues, is that it takes on average 7 to 12 years to get a diagnosis in this country. The time for diagnosis takes so long because it is often misdiagnosed, underdiagnosed, with many women reporting that they've been told repeatedly it's all in your head, it's a normal part of menstruation, it's anxiety, it's stress, it's mental health related. And many of those women have been prescribed mental health medication rather than being properly tested. The only way that you can diagnose properly endometriosis is through a procedure called laparoscopy. And very often women have to push and fight to get this very simple and basic diagnostic treatment. Ultrasound will not detect endometriosis. There are no clinical guidelines for GPs, so many GPs do not know and recognise the symptoms and signs of endometriosis in women, leading again to it taking many, many years for diagnosis. And that's a problem because the longer the disease is left unchecked and unmonitored, the more damage it's doing internally. We also need education for young girls in this country, because women should know from a very young age what is a normal period, what pain is normal and what pain is not normal. You shouldn't have to miss days off school, be bedridden every month because of this condition, but that's what's happening to many women across this country. I want to point out as well that there are varying degrees of severity in the disease. There are stages 1 to 4, 1 being the most mild in terms of level of disease and 4 being the most severe. And the symptoms that I outlined are some of the main symptoms, but every woman is different and has a different experience. So what action is needed now in this country? We need to reduce the diagnosis time. We need to reduce that way back down to 1 to 2 years maximum. We need to have a clear clinical pathway for treatment, because many women, when they finally get that much needed diagnosis, are simply left to their own devices with no access to proper consultative care or any care afterwards. We need guidelines, clinical guidelines for GPs, so that they can detect and diagnose the disease early on. We need proper menstrual education for young women in schools. We need wraparound services in terms of pain management and also mental health services. And we need training and increased specialisation in this country so we can provide the proper gold-plated standard of excision surgery as opposed to ablation. Appreciate I'm over my time here, so I'll finish on this. Just to commend the hard work of the Endometriosis Association of Ireland, who's a voluntary association working with very little resources and very little funding in highlighting this. So, colleagues, if I can ask that you might on your social media today share that it is the beginning of Endometriosis Awareness Month and that we must now take action to address the very clear deficit in women's healthcare in relation to this disease. Thank you, Cathaoirleach.